Welcome to StabtheDragon Productions for episode number 160. This is March 27th, 2024, and we are celebrating International Whiskey Day. We're going to be sampling and opening Compass Box Orchard House Blended Malt Scotch Whiskey. Now, International Whiskey Day was announced in 2008, but it was first celebrated 2009 on March 27th in the Netherlands. And what this is all about is the date, March 27th, was chosen because that is the birthday of Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson was a British author, and he wrote columns about whiskey and multiple books about whiskey. This is the only Michael Jackson book on whiskey that I own, but this is a fairly comprehensive volume, and it does have a chapter on blended malts and a chapter on great blends. And so Compass Box is mentioned in the book, a little bit of a history about it and some analysis of some of their offerings. This is Orchard House, and it is one of their core offerings now. There's the cork, nice wood cork with a nice pop. We're going to pour my first glass of Orchard House here. There you go. Now, Compass Box was founded in 2000 by an American, of all things. But obviously in Scotland, because to be called a Scotch whiskey, it's got to be produced in Scotland. John Glaser is his name, and he took the idea of blending to the next level. Headquartered in Edinburgh, Scotland, but they call themselves whiskey makers, not whiskey blenders. They don't really have a distillery of their own, but they have stretched the boundaries of what it means to blend Scotch whiskies. They've even run afoul of the Scotch Whisky Association rules a couple of times. So that's pretty funny, because when you're an innovator, an entrepreneur, you're going to push the boundaries, and that is exactly what John Glaser did, and got the penalty flag thrown at him a couple of times by the Scottish Whisky Police, I guess. This bottle I just got yesterday from Goody Goody here in Fort Worth, Texas, for $49.99. So, just under a penny under 50 bucks. Specs has it for $52.62. Total Wine did not list it at all. And I noticed, on my channel, I've complained about liquor store websites a lot. I found another goofy thing about liquor store websites. If I use the desktop computer to research these prices, Specs didn't have any Compass Box listed. Neither did Total Wine. But when I use my phone and go to the Specs website, and I've been to Specs numerous times, they had it listed for $52.62, and I've seen it at their store. So why the desktop version is different from the phone version, I don't know. So that's just another weird thing about liquor store websites. Maybe it's my computer. I have no idea. But let's look at Compass Box. When you go to their website, their website is by far one of the best whiskey websites ever. They give you all kinds of information, and that's part of his business model. That is part of the thing about Orchard House. And even on the bottle, they'll tell you stuff. But here, you can go to the website, and they will print out a information sheet here Now this is for lot number 180122, and mine is L290722. So this wheel where it gives the sources of the whiskeys is from January of 2022, whereas mine's from July of 2022. But they didn't have my lot number listed. Batch number is what it's called, batch number. They had two batch numbers listed. One was for 2007-21. So I'm just going to I'm going to show you the difference here between these. What this wheel does is it gives you the percentages of which distilleries. I mean, it names the distilleries except for one. It leaves a little bit of a mystery to it, but it names the distilleries, gives you the percentage of how much of their stuff is in this bottle, right? And there's some significant differences between these two editions of Orchard House. And so let me just briefly go through this, because this could really eat up some time here. For the 2021 edition, the largest component coming in at 39% is the Linkwood Distillery First Fill Bourbon Barrel Single Malt. But on this other one, the largest component is 30.6%, and it's the Clynelish Distillery. Now, keep in mind, the Scottish language, who knows? I don't know how to pronounce Scottish names, so I'm going to butcher it because I'm from Texas. All right, but it's interesting that the main component is different in these two batch numbers. So I'm going to go, and they list some different distilleries here. So I'm going to stick with the 2022 version because this is closest to what I've got, I think. So again, the largest component, 30.6%, is the Clynelish Distillery. The next largest, coming in at 24.9%, is the Linkwood Distillery First Fill Bourbon Barrel. So both of the main components there are first fill bourbons. The next component on this one is the Linkwood Distillery. What is the difference here? That's weird. It's got two Linkwood Distilleries components mentioned here. Both are single malt, but they have a little bit different flavor profiles. So I'm not real sure what's going on with that. I would need somebody to interpret this for me. Then it's got the Ben Rennis Distillery First Fill Bourbon Single Malt, 12.6%. And then at 6.6%, it's got a distillery near the town of Aberlour. Imagine that. Sometimes you have an NDA signed, and so you can't really name the distillery, but you can give its grid coordinates, you can give its what town it's from. There you go. And then you've got the Clynelish Distillery coming in at 6.4%. And then Keola Distillery, 2.4%. So there it's going to have a little bit of smoke, I think. And then a Highland Malt Blend. And I think that is from Compass Box. Their Highland Malt Blend, 2.4%. So it's a blended malt going in there. So that's the information you can get from downloading stuff from the distillery or from the Compass Box website. So that's really pretty impressive. Now for this whiskey itself, Orchard House, it says it's all malt, lively and fragrant sipper with a light oak influence, Flavor profile: aromas of apple and pear dominate, with hints of pineapple, lemon, and lime zest. Earl Grey tea. Malty, gingery flavors. Honey, wild strawberries, vanilla shortbread. This is bottled at 46% ABV, all natural color, non-chill filtered, and this is a blended malt Scotch whiskey. So the definition and the difference between a blended malt and a blended Scotch is there's no grain whiskey in here. It's only malted barley. Okay, but it's a blend of malts, and so you have all these different distilleries. If you look at the color here, it is a nice golden color, but it's a little bit hazy, and that's because it's not chill filtered. So that's interesting. And notice the label here. This is a pretty standard bottle. This is a classic whiskey bottle, which I kind of like, the classic kind. I don't go for all the fancy decanter kinds. But their label is they put some serious artwork on their bottles. And so I find their labels to be attractive. It's got pears, it's got apples on there. It looks like a lemon. It's got a little bell. I'm not sure what the bell is for. Some flowers and some leaves. It says fragrant, sweet, and balanced. You know, a lot of people really fuss about, well, I'm only a single malt guy. I've had quite a few single malts, and they are good, but I also like blends. Blending whiskeys is a science and an art, and 90% of the Scotch whiskeys sold around the world is blends. So there you go. Obviously, Johnny Walker is at the top of that heap. But Compass Box, all the whiskey shows that I watch, Compass Box is making a huge splash. And so this is taking blending up to the highest level, I think. I've had one Compass Box, I've had Spice Tree, really liked it. I mean, it's very good. It's a few dollars more. It's about $70. And this is about $50. So here it is in the glass. Again, it seems a little bit cloudy. Pale gold. Let's get this going in the glass just a little bit. Oh yeah, that smells nice and fruity. Wow. Definitely. I mean, I definitely get a green apple. Some kind of sweetness. You know, like light honey. A little bit of spice. A little bit of spice going on there. So that's a very appealing aroma. And if you watch my show, you know my nose does not work very well at all. Long story, but that was before COVID. COVID didn't affect me at all. My nose was already in bad shape. But I can smell this, and it smells very fruity, very inviting. So, cheers for International Whiskey Day. Oh, wow. Oh, man. This is exceptional. We may have a new favorite here. Definitely. I get the fruit there right from the start, and some honey. Green apples. Yeah, definitely green apples. A little bit of lemon. Not sure about the pineapple. A lot of guys say they get pineapple. But the smoke influence, the Keola is only like 2% of this. But there is a very nice, soft smoke flavor from middle of the palate to the finish that just is right there in the background. It's not overpowering, but it's enough to really give this another layer. Now, I'm a peat head. I mean, I can handle peat, and that comes because I'm in Texas and I handle Texas whiskeys. Texas whiskeys have a lot of smoke, a lot of char, a lot of barrel, and some of the things in Texas are just like sticking your face in a barbecue grill. So, but a little touch of smoke on top of the fruit flavors here. Oh, this is amazing. I'll tell you what, for $50, you can't go wrong with this. So this is now my second Compass box that I've had. I had Spice Tree earlier in the year. Both of these whiskeys are amazing. And so if maybe you're stuck on single malts and you don't want to touch blends, hey, everybody has their favorite. I get it. You got your own taste buds going on there. But this is good. I highly recommend that. This is a solid A to an A plus. If I would say if you've not tried Scotch and you want to start off at kind of the high end of blends, Orchard House is the way to go. I mean, I like bottom shelf blends. I mean, I'm happy with Grant's or Cuddy Sark or Johnny Walker Red. I mean, I like blends. I just do. But this is first class. So, happy International Whiskey Day, and enjoy a Compass box. Definitely blended malt Scotch. Cheers. This is Stab the Dragon out here.